Page 72. If they lived closer, they'd visit us more often. Listen to the first model.
Why don't our grandchildren visit us more often?
They don't live close enough. If they lived closer, they'd visit us more often.
Listen to the second model.
Why isn't Alexander able to lift weights?
He isn't strong enough. If he were stronger, he'd be able to lift weights.
Do exercise 1 based on the first model. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin.
Why don't I feel energetic?
You don't sleep enough. If you slept more, you'd feel energetic.
Do exercise 2 based on the second model. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin.
Why isn't Sally a good driver?
She isn't careful enough. If she were more careful, she'd be a good driver.
Do exercises 3 through 12. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 3.
Why doesn't Brian get good grades?
He doesn't study enough. If he studied more, he'd get good grades.
4.
Why aren't you satisfied with your job?
I don't get paid enough. If I got paid more, I'd be satisfied with my job.
5.
Why doesn't Amy have friends at school?
She isn't outgoing enough. If she were more outgoing, she'd have friends at school.
6.
Why doesn't Stan have a yearly checkup?
He doesn't care enough about his health. If he cared more about his health, he'd have a yearly checkup.
7.
Why aren't most Americans in good physical condition?
They don't exercise enough. If they exercised more, they'd be in good physical condition.
8.
Why isn't Melvin a good salesman?
He isn't aggressive enough. If he were more aggressive, he'd be a good salesman.
9.
Why doesn't my car get better gas mileage?
You don't tune up your engine often enough. If you tuned up your engine more often, it would get better gas mileage.
10.
Why don't you and Janet get along with each other?
We don't have enough in common. If we had more in common, we'd get along with each other.
11.
Why don't our representatives in Congress do something about pollution? They aren't concerned enough about the environment. If they were more concerned about the environment, they'd do something about pollution.
12.
Why doesn't our English teacher buy a new pair of shoes?
He doesn't make enough money. If he made more money, he'd buy a new pair of shoes.